Namaste. Welcome to your Hatha yoga class. Today we're going to begin in a comfortable seat, maybe up on a block as I am, and spend a few minutes of breath and meditation on the mantra So Hum. So Hum. It's spelled SOHAM, but pronounced So Hum. So finding your comfortable seat, allowing the arms to rest casually down at their sides. Lift the sternum, lengthen through the spine. Slightly tuck the chin and release the eyes, just gazing downward in front of you, or maybe even closed if you're comfortable. Begin to come into the breath, noticing the inhale and deepening it, expanding the rib cage, and following the exhale out through the nose, lengthening out that exhale a second or two longer than your inhale each round. And then begin to introduce the mantra, So Hum. So Hum. Continuing to breathe deeply and allowing the silent repetition of the mantra to fill the body as the inhale does. Releasing the attachment to its meaning on the exhales. So hum. So hum. So hum. Take another breath in and breath out, releasing the mantra. Blink open the eyes. Slowly shift forward to release yourself from the seated position and come all the way down to your belly, keeping that block or prop next to you for later. So coming on down to our bellies for crocodile pose. You're going to bring the arms out in front of you, maybe stacked to rest the forehead. You can widen your legs as wide as you need to bring comfort to the low back. Begin to come back to that inhale and exhale. And welcoming yourself to return to our mantra, So Hum. Throughout the practice, if you need to guide your awareness back to your body on the mat, your presence in your space today. Continuing deep, steady breathing. Relax the jaw, soften the shoulders. Release the hip points into the earth beneath you. On your next exhale, press out as much air as you can. Keep squeezing out the breath. And then take a big inhale. Filling up air as much as you can, every square inch of the lungs. And then releasing. Lift the gaze. And gently press yourself up and back to a child's pose. Taking your time. No rushed movements. Shifting the hips over the heels, walking the hands forward, forehead down to the mat or a block. Feel the spine gently curving. As your chest rests against your thighs, the tailbone lengthens towards the back of the mat. Tent the fingertips up, walking them a little bit closer towards the top of the mat. And as you exhale, walk them over now the right side for a side body stretch. Only go as far as you need to feel a little sensation from the left armpit down to the left side, down to the left hip. Keep the head heavy and relaxed. Breathe into that left side body. One more round of breath. Inhale, look up to your fingertips and walk them back to the center. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, tent the fingertips. Look up at your hands again and walk them over the left side. Finding a stretch on the right side body, a gentle tug down the left side from the armpit, the right ribs, all the way down to that right hip point. Let the head hang heavy. One more round of breath here. Empty the breath on the exhale. Inhale, look up at your fingertips. Walk them back to center, finding child's pose. And then exhale, curl up to a tabletop. Bring the left hand to the center of the mat. Reach the right arm up, threading the needle. Reach up, open and expand. Exhale, gently lower that right arm underneath you, lowering down to the right shoulder, maybe the right side of the face, keeping your hips over your knees. Breathe. One more round of breath here. Draw that left hand in front of the face, press it in, and then re-extend that right arm up before switching sides. Right hand now plants in the center of the mat. Gently sweep the left arm open as you look over the left side, maybe up towards the ceiling. Exhale, thread that left arm underneath, coming down to the shoulder, side of the face. Maybe walking that right hand up overhead. 3 rounds of breath on this side. Keep the awareness with your inhales and exhales. Then bring that right hand in front of your gaze. Press down into the mat to lift yourself up, giving yourself that support. Re-extend that left arm. Exhale, plant that left hand down. Shift the hips back over the heels, coming through hero pose. Reach the arms up. Exhale them down. Shift the hips to the left side and take that right leg and cross it over the left for cow face pose. You might want your strap here. So stacking the knees, right knee on top of left. Sitting bones are as close down to the mat as you can. Feel free to prop yourself up or release the crossing of the knees a little bit if you need. As long as you're feeling strong and grounded. When you're ready, relax the shoulders down the back, sit up straight. And then keeping the shoulders in their sockets, reach the arms up overhead. Bending at the right elbow, give yourself a pat on the back with that right hand as your left arm swings around, back of the left hand to your upper back, lower back, wherever it can reach. Maybe your fingertips can almost touch like mine. Maybe use your strap here. So if you got your strap between both hands behind your back like this, we're looking for a gentle opening expansion of the chest, lengthening through the arms. Be cautious if you're sticking your tailbone out and pressing your chest forward here. Can you zip the lower belly in? Can you lengthen through the back of the neck, maybe a slight tuck of the chin? 3 breaths here. Once you've found your spot, find that stillness. Breathe in. After your 3rd exhale, inhale, releasing the arms, bringing them both up overhead. We'll take a gentle forward fold over the knees. Chest reaches past the knee, gaze lowers, release the head and the neck. And then curl the spine as you inhale to sit back up. Good. Uncross the legs, stacking the knees. So you're kind of sitting on your left hip, knees crossed. And then we're just going to take a little windshield wiper to the other side. So now the knees are stacked on the right side. Right knee is down, left leg is on top. Just cross that left knee over the right. Finding cow face pose for the other side. Noticing any difference in your hips. Maybe one feels a little more open than the other. Take your time to settle into the posture. Again, propping yourself up as you need. And then when you're ready, you found your spot. Release the shoulders down the back. Zip up through the front body. Slight tuck of the tailbone, slight tuck of the chin. Shoulders relaxed into their sockets and reach the arms up. This time the left hand is going to bend, or the left hand's going to give yourself a little pat on the back, bending at the left elbow. Right arm's going to gently come back around. Maybe you grab that strap on your way, reaching for the strap on either side or your fingertips, wiggling the back of the right hand up the spine. Inhale, open through the chest. Exhale, lengthen through the spine, slight tuck of the chin. Remember, strong in the lower body, pressing down. Inhaling up to the spine, slight tuck of the chin. Engaged belly, engaged core. Pressing open. The arms, expansive through the chest, still relaxed in the shoulders. One more breath here. Make it count. Inhale to release the arms, bring them both up overhead, and we'll take that gentle, slow motion forward fold. Let the head hang, and then inhale, curl the spine to come back to sit. Take that top left leg, bring it next to you so the knees stack, and you're kind of sitting up on that right side now. Bring the knees back up to center, taking a few windshield wipers, lowering the knees to one side and then the other. And bringing them up to sit. Make your way to downward facing dog, taking your time. As many small steps and movements as you need. Maybe you take a cat and cow on your way or come through child's pose. Maybe you do none of those things and just jump back, your choice. For our downward facing dog, remember to spread the fingertips wide, lower the heels, bend the knees, lift the tailbone and press your chest towards your thighs. Your gaze looks back between your knees. Full inhale, open mouth, exhale. Look between your hands. Make your way to the top for a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, stay here. Send your arms back like airplane arms, and we're going to come up to stand through chair. So inhale, drop the hips, lift the chest. As you begin to stand, reach the arms up overhead, straighten the knees, reach up, lifting through the sternum, pressing the heels down. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. We'll continue with sun salutation A. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands, step back to plank. You can always lower to your knees if you need, as usual. One more breath in here. Exhale, lower all the way down to the belly. Squeeze the elbows in if you're lowering through chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Lift the heart. Squeeze the elbows in. Top of the feet press into the mat. Exhale, forehead to mat. Tuck the toes. Inhale, press up and back to downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. So hum. Inhale, look between your hands. Step forward to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to stand, reaching the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to either side, mountain pose. Let's take that sun salutation one more time. Inhale, reach the arms up, gaze up. Exhale, forward fold. Take your time, slight bend in the knees as your torso lowers over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins or your thighs, straight back. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank. Lower through knees, chest, chin on the exhale, or maybe chaturanga. Inhale, a cobra up dog. Shine the heart through the arms. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Stay with yourself. Don't let your mind wander off the mat. Look between your hands. Make your way to the top, forward fold. Inhale brings the hands up to your shins, halfway lift. Exhale, release, fold. Inhale, stand, arms up overhead. Exhale, mountain pose, hands at your side. Sun salutation B. Inhale, reach the arms up, reach up as your feet press down. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Our next inhale is to chair. Knees bend, arms rise. Shift the hips back, weight in the heels. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands, look up. Exhale, step back to plank. Lower through chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right away, step that right foot forward, warrior one. Plant the back heel. Inhale, arms come up overhead, square the shoulders and the hips towards the top of the mat. Right knee is bent, left leg is somewhat straight, if you can. Exhale, reach forward, plant the hands. Step the right foot back. Lower through chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, other side. Left foot steps forward. Plant the right heel. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, sink down, but gather that energy up. We're staying active here, squaring the hips and the shoulders towards the top of the mat. On your exhale, reach forward, plant the hands. Step the left foot back. Lower through. Inhale, cobra up dog. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, lift up and back to downward facing dog. We'll take 5 breaths in downward facing dog. Maybe using our mantra to keep your focus. Soham, which means roughly, I am. After your 5th exhale, inhale, look between your hands. Step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to chair, knees bend, arms rise. And then sink the hips down and back. Slight tuck of the tailbone, engage belly. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, shine the heart through, open heart. Exhale to stand, reach up, and then find mountain. Breathe. Take another round of breath and rest here. And then we'll move on to another round of sun salutation B, this time taking warrior 2. So as you're ready, firm your feet, activate the legs, long through the spine, palms open at the front of the mat. On an inhale, reach up, look up. On your exhale, forward fold. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, plank, lower. Inhale, cobra up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right foot steps forward, warrior 2. So your back heel spins down, the left toes are facing the left edge of the mat. Inhale, reach the arms open. Right fingertips forward, left fingertips back like a T. Even though we're lowering down firm in the lower body, we're inhaling, lengthening through the spine, scrubbing the feet together, powering through the inner legs. One more breath in here. Exhale, cartwheel our hands to frame your front foot. Step the right foot back, lower through. Inhale, open. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left foot steps forward, warrior 2 on the other side. Right arm spins up and back. Open to your T. Gaze over the front fingertips. Press the hips forward. Open through the heart. Sink down. Gather energy up and in. One more inhale. Exhale, cartwheel your hands to frame your front foot. You know where we're going. Step it back and lower on the exhale. Open the heart. Look up on the exhale. Downward facing dog on the exhale, actually. You got it. 5 breaths here. And as you spend these 5 breaths, I'll share with you a little bit more of our theme for Soham, I am. And we'll focus more of this class on the philosophy of the Bhagavad Gita, which is a classic Sanskrit text, the yoga Bible, if you will. One more inhale and exhale and downward facing dog. So in our Bhagavad Gita, we find our hero, Arjuna. Step forward to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And Arjuna, as a warrior, found himself in a war against his own family and culture. Inhale to chair. Sink it down and back. You've got it. I'm right here with you. This is conflicted naturally, as any of us would be and are when we find ourselves at odds with our family, our upbringing, our culture. Inhale to stand, reach up, gaze up. Exhale to mountain. Bring your palms together, heart center. Take a breath and take a rest. So in our story of the Bhagavad Gita, we find Arjuna, who luckily has Krishna on his side. It's the personification of one of the gods, representative of the spirit, whatever God means for you. Know that just like Arjuna, we have access to that spirit, that power, that encouragement throughout our lives. Take a deep breath in, open mouth, exhale. So hum, I am. Release the hands to your side. And with that context, let's flow. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. And take ragdoll pose here. So heel toe your feet about hips width distance apart. Halfway lift on the inhale, grab either elbow with your arms. Bend the knees, chest over your thighs as you fold forward. Let the head hang heavy. And then lift up through the tailbone, through the sitting bones, to maybe begin to lengthen through the back of the legs. Chest and head hang heavy here. Be here for about 5 breaths. So the whole story of the Bhagavad Gita is quite complex. It's hard to break it down into simple chunks, but today we'll just be focusing on that notion of being at odds, even at war, with those we're close to. And tuning into ourselves to find truth, to find God, to find connection beyond the human connections that we often rely too heavily on for our own enjoyment of life, our own self-worth, our own abilities. Inhale, look up halfway, release your hands. Exhale, fold. Inhale to stand, rolling the spine up. Coming back to the top of the mat in mountain. Step the right foot back. And coming to a T, reaching the arms out to either side. Pivot on your feet to face the back of the mat. So the right leg is facing forward. Bending into that right knee, we're going to take side angle lunge, right elbow to right knee. Lift the left arm up overhead. Finding that side body stretch, press the hips forward, firm down in the lower body. Maybe you begin to release the right fingertips down to the inside of the foot, or maybe to the outside of the foot. Maybe you've got your block helping support you. Breathe here. Final breath in and out. Inhale, press down to reach up, finding that 5-pointed star. Pivot on your heels to face the top of the mat where the left foot is. Bending into that left knee, reach forward, left elbow to left knee, side angle lunge on the other side. Right arm comes up overhead. Again, maybe you open your wings, left fingertips to the mat, either on the inside or the outside of the leg. Mirror whatever you did on the other side, using that block for support if you need it. Broaden through the collarbones. Press the hips forward, strong in the inner feet. Reaching up with that right arm. So hum, I am. Nothing after that, just I am. That's enough. Exhale, press down into the lower body. Inhale, reach up. Coming to that 5-pointed star, bring your hands to your hips, step to the top of the mat. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, let it out. Step that right foot all the way to the back of the mat again, pivoting on the heels to face the back of the mat, finding our revolved side angle lunge. So bending back into that right knee, maybe walking that left heel back. Bringing that right elbow to that right knee. Actually, not doing that, coming back up. Bring your hands to your hips. Square the hips towards the right foot. Reach the arms up. Right hand to your right hip. Left elbow to your left knee. Now we've got our revolved side angle lunge. Use your prop if you need. If you can, open that left elbow or left arm at the elbow, pressing into that left knee, reaching the right arm up. Right knee is still bent here. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale into the twist as you revolve your posture. Pull that right hip back. Left hip forward, still firm in the feet. One more breath in. Stay for the exhale. Inhale to come up. Both arms reach up overhead. Exhale, 5-pointed star. Turn to face the long edge of the mat. And then pivot to face the top of the mat for our revolved side angle lunge on the other side. So hands to your hips. Square the hips towards the top of the mat. Reach the right arm up. You can keep your left hand on your hip this time. Bending into that left knee. Bring that right elbow to your left knee. Lengthen through the spine. Lower that right arm towards the outside of the right leg, or the left leg, rather. Left arm reaches up. And if you need a visual, I'll switch sides here so you can see. So I'm going to pull my left hip back. Left arm comes up. Open through the heart. Firm in the feet. You've got this. 2 more breaths. Inhale to stand overhead. Turning to that 5-pointed star. Stepping to the top of the mat. Breathe. So hum. Stay focused in the moment. On your next inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale to chair. Sink the hips back. This time we're going to come up onto our tippy toes. So shift the weight forward to the toes, lifting through the knees, hugging the inner legs together, balancing on our toes. Keep sinking the hips back, shoulders down the back, open through the heart. Zip the lower belly in. So you've got a long spine. One more inhale. Stay for the exhale. On an inhale, stand up on the toes, reach up, still on the toes. Exhale, lower. Finding mountain. 3 breaths here. Coming back to your mantra or your breath. When you're ready, step the left foot to the back of the mat. Find warrior 1. In warrior 1, our hips and shoulders are squared towards the top of the mat. Right knee is bent. Left foot is at an angle towards the top edge of the mat, and you can widen your stance if you need more stability. Heel toe your foot to find that right warrior 1. When you've got it, we're going to take eagle arms. So since my right leg is in front, my right arm is going to come underneath the left, making an X with the arms, and then bring the upper arms in front of you. You can bring the backs of the hands together, or if your body allows, crossing at the wrists so the palms come together. Relax the shoulders down, still firm in the legs. Pull the elbows away from you and inhale, reach the elbows up as you arch your back, look up. Exhale, humble warrior. Lower the arms and the heart between the legs. Let the head hang heavy. Hug that right leg in. Pulling the right heel back. Left hip forward. Inhale, coming up. All the way, lift the elbows so your gaze is towards the sky. Exhale, release the arms. Coming back to warrior 1. Step forward to the top of the mat, reach up. Exhale, arms to your side. Other side. Step the right foot to the back of the mat, warrior 1. Settle in, take your time. Relax the shoulders. Knit the ribs together, lower the tailbone towards the earth. When you found your warrior 1, cross that left arm under the right. Finding your eagle arms. Pull the elbows away. Inhale, lift the elbows, lift the gaze, arch the back. Deep breath in. Exhale, humble warrior, lowering the heart between the legs. Keep that back foot firm. Hug the left knee in towards the arms. Relax the head and the neck. Breathe. This breath in and out from humble warrior to warrior one reminds us of the warrior we have inside of us. It takes humility to be self-aware. It takes power to hold ourselves up. Inhale to warrior one. Lift the elbows again. Release the arms, settling into warrior one. Firm in ourselves. Exhale, step forward, top of the mat. Release the breath, release the posture. Breathe. When you're ready, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands and step the left foot to the back of the mat. Find lizard pose, so bring both hands to the inside of the right foot. You can come to your block, use your block to lift the floor up closer. You can lower your left knee down if you'd like. Either way, pull that left hip forward and the right hip back. So instead of trying to lean and lunge here, we're going to pull that right hip back, left hip forward. So our hips are squared. Bring the shoulders away from the ears, shine the heart forward. Keep the chin slightly relaxed so the gaze is towards the top of the mat. We'll be here for 5 rounds of breath. Focus internally here. On your next exhale, release your hands from the block if you took it. Tuck the back toes to lift up on that heel if you didn't before, and step that left foot forward, and then send the right foot back, lizard on the other side. Hug that left elbow in towards the left arm. Again, lowering the right knee if you took that variation on the other side. Pulling the right hip forward, left hip back. Tuning in on the breath in. Tuning out anything off the mat, outside of your body. Stay focused inward. It's important to know ourselves and know, quote unquote, God or this collective consciousness or spirituality, whatever that shows up for you. But being aware of ourselves and that collective spirit, that's yoga. And that's our power for getting through life, through our arguments and our successes. Whether we're like Arjuna, out in the field preparing for battle, uncertain of the times, or in our own head battling. Another breath in here. And to release, lizard, tuck the back toes, remove the blocks. Step forward to that wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Heel toe the feet together. Once again, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we're going to plant our hands and step back to downward facing dog. Take a moment to set yourself up. Maybe pedal the heels if you need. And when you're ready, we're going to prepare for 3-legged downward dog, starting with the right foot. So shift the weight to the left, and then extend that right foot back. Point and flex the heel. So point the toes, and then flatten the foot, pressing out through the heel. Point and flex. One more breath in 3-legged downward dog. And then begin to open that right hip up. So opening the right knee towards the sky, stacking the hips. Opening here through that front right side body. If it's in your practice, if you want to try, we can begin to move to wild thing. Dropping that right leg back behind you, reaching the right arm up and open. Maybe you stay in 3-legged downward dog. Maybe you take star dancer. Maybe you come to child's pose if this is too much. This is for you, so follow your own breath. Exhale back to your 3-legged downward dog. Plant that right foot down. We'll spend a couple breaths here. Feel free to take a rest in child's pose as you need. Otherwise, make sure you're reset. Fingertips spread wide. Biceps spinning forward on either side of the ears. Knees slightly bent, press your chest towards your thighs, and then lift up through the heel or through the sitting bones so that the heels can maybe lower. And then when you're ready, 3-legged downward dog on the other side. Shift the weight to the right foot, extend the left foot back. Point the toes, and then flex the foot so the heel is pressing out. Point and flex a couple more rounds. And then open that left hip by lifting the left knee, bending the knee so the left heel comes back towards your glute. You'll feel an opening in the front side body. Front and side body of that left side. And then maybe we drop that left foot down and lift the left arm up for our wild thing pose, or whatever variation you took last time. Don't judge yourself. Enjoy it. Soham, I am. You are. In whatever posture you choose, you are. I am. That is all that matters. Take a final breath. Exhale, come back to your 3-legged downward dog. Exhale, lower the foot to the mat, then knees down. Child's pose. Take a breath, take a rest. If you need a little bit more movement in your life, feel free to flow through a plank, an up dog, a down dog before making your way to child's pose, or any other series of movements that might feel good for you. We'll take 2 more breaths in child's pose or whatever situation you are yogaing into. After your second exhale, inhale to your tabletop, making our way to forward fold at the top of the mat. However makes sense for you to mindfully, gently get there. Oh, finding our mountain pose. Heel toe your feet about hips width distance apart, preparing for chair twist. Reach the arms up. Exhale, sink the hips back. Finding chair first. Bring the palm heart center. Tuck the tailbone. So notice if you're sticking your tailbone out, tuck the tailbone. If you have your low spine curled, maybe you need to stick the tailbone out a little bit. So find that neutral spine. Yes, we're still in chair. It's okay. Inhale, lift that left elbow. Exhale, cross that left elbow to the right knee. Palms still together. Spine is straight. Weight in the heels. Soft in the face. 2 more breaths here. Soham. Inhale back to center. Exhale, fold. Release it out. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to stand. Finding your mountain. We'll take that twisted chair on the other side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, sink it down to chair. Weight in the heels, palms together at heart center. Inhale, reach the right elbow up and cross it over the left knee. Hooking that right elbow around the left knee. Keep the feet equally grounding. Keep the knees equally over the feet, so don't let yourself push into the knee. Resist. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist, open the heart. Maybe you look up over your left shoulder. Squeezing the legs together. 2 more breaths here. Inhale to center. Exhale, forward fold. On an inhale, halfway lift. Make sure your feet are about hips width distance apart. And then take your hands underneath your feet. So the palm of your hand is under the sole of your foot. Walk your feet up so your toes tickle your wrists. Inhale, halfway lift, bend your knees as much as you need, and then exhale, fold. Let the head hang heavy first. Then begin to lift up through the sitting bones. So maybe the backs of the legs lengthen. Breathe slowly and deeply. On your next inhale, release the posture, removing your hands from underneath your feet. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant your hands like malasana or any other thing that feels good. Bringing your knees into your armpits on the outside of the triceps. Finding lift in the belly and just playing. Look past the top of the mat. Look further ahead than you think is safe. You've got this. Breathe. Release down to malasana when you've completed your crow pose. Spend a breath or two here in our yogi squat. And then plant your hands. Step back to plank. Spin the biceps forward. Press the belly button towards your low back. Forward. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Exhale, shift back. Lower the knees, child's pose. Let it all out on the exhale. Take a few rounds of breath and rest here. A few questions to bring to mind as we begin to close our practice today. What identities do you attach to? What structures do you play along with? And what devotions do you hold on to? On an inhale, lift up onto your knees. Walk the knees back, lower to your belly for Sphinx pose. Draw the fingertips in lines with the chest. Hug the elbows in. Inhale, lift the heart. So we're coming through Cobra. And then bring the forearms down, keeping the heart lifted. Press the elbows into the earth to lift your heart a little bit more. Shoulders are still rolled down the back away from the ears. Adjust the width of your hips, of your legs. Slight tuck at the chin. We'll breathe here. Taking into consideration the things that we use to define us, identities, structures, devotions. And just kind of let that simmer in you. Maybe you don't answer the question. Maybe you just ask yourself. Take a final breath in. And as you exhale, aloud or in your head, Soham. Soham. I am. Press into the forearms. Shift back to child's pose. 2 breaths here. And inhale, begin to sit up. Bring the legs in front of you for a seated forward fold. Modify as much as you need. I'm going to roll the back of my mat up and sit my hips up to help make this a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more accessible. And starting through staff pose, sitting up tall on the spine. Hands down at your side. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hinging at the hips. Bring the low belly over the tops of the thighs. Bring the chest down towards your knees. Lower the arms, then lower the gaze. Spin the inner thighs down and in. Pull the hips back. Let the head hang heavy. Breathe. These identities and attachments to structures, our devotion and defense of the things that we subscribe to. Are these yours? Can you be yourself with and without them? A couple more breaths here. And inhale, begin to sit up with a straight back. Soham. Bring the soles of the feet together. Relax the shoulders down the back. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, fold, bringing your hands to cup the toes. Maybe wiggling the elbows to the outside of the shins. Inhaling, finding length. Exhaling, folding a little deeply into our bound angle twist, or our bound angle fold. Twist is next. Inhale, just slowly sit up. Bring the knees together. And extend that left leg long, bringing that right heel in. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, twist towards the left, so right hand comes back behind you. Elbow of the left arm presses into that right knee. Inhale, lengthens the spine. Exhale, press the elbow and the knee together to aid yourself in opening that heart. Maybe your gaze looks over your back shoulder. Breathe. On your next inhale, gently come back to center. Big long. And bring that left heel in as you bend the left knee. Arms come up on the inhale. Exhale, twist towards the left. Right elbow comes to the outside of the left knee. Left hand props you up behind. Inhale, sit up straight. Exhale, twist. Press the elbow and the knee together. Open the heart. Look over your left shoulder. Notice the sensations of deep breath in the twist. On your next inhale, come back to center. Release the legs long and come down off any props you use for your forward folds. And find boat pose. Coming right to your sitting bones. Bending at the knees, tucking the knees in towards your chest. Begin to balance on your tailbone, on the sitting bones, and then begin to lengthen the legs. Keeping the back as straight as you can here, tucking that belly button in towards the spine. So really strong in the core, wrap the ribs together. If you've got it, if you feel strong enough, begin to release the knees, palms come up. Maybe you begin to lengthen through the legs a little bit more, keep pointing the toes, hugging in. One more breath in here. Exhale, slow motion, lower to the mat. All the way to the back. Bending into the knees. We'll take a bridge pose. Walk the heels in until your fingertips can touch the heels. Palms face down. If you've got a block, bring that block between your thighs. So hug that block in. Use that to help create a strong bridge. Feet flat on the mat. On an inhale, lifting from the belly button, lift the hips off the mat as you squeeze into that block. Maybe you wiggle your shoulder blades together and clasp your fingertips behind your low back to help lift into that bridge a little more. Maybe you don't. Maybe use your block to keep underneath your sacrum for a supported bridge pose. Breathe into the openness of the chest. Keep the legs active. If you don't have a block, imagine you've got one there. Full inhale. Release the hands if you clasp them underneath you. And then starting at the top of the spine, so the top of the upper back, slow motion. Zipper your spine down. Tailbone lowers last. Remove the blocks from your thighs. Heel toe the feet apart and allow the knees to gently fall in towards each other. 3 breaths here. Relax the jaw. Relax the arms. Inhale the knees up. Heel towards your chest. Lift the heart so your forehead meets your knees. Wrap the forearms around the shins, hugging yourself into a little ball. Spend a couple breaths here, tucked into yourself. So hum. So hum. Exhale, release, keeping the knees in towards your chest. And then take some little knee circles, massaging out the spine, circling one direction for a few rounds. And then gently switching directions. And then reach between the knees, grabbing onto your ankles, shins, or big toes. Lengthen the legs out as if you're in a wide-legged forward fold, the supine variation. So we're on our backs, legs wide. You can also use your strap here, taking one leg at a time. Draw the shoulders down the back. Try to flatten your back onto the mat. Pulling the hips into their sockets, pressing out through the heels. Breathe. To release, gently bend the knees, finding happy baby. And then releasing the feet or your shins, drawing the knees in towards the center. Lower the feet to the mat. Shift the hips to the left. Lower the knees to the right for a supine twist. Look over your left shoulder. Extend the left arm long. Inhale back to center, knees up. Shift the hips to the right side and now lower the knees to the left. Extend the right arm and the gaze over the right. Inhale, gaze to center, knees come up. Bring the soles of the feet together, allow the knees to splay open to either side. Bring one hand to your belly and one hand to your heart. Begin to close the eyes. Soften the body down to the mat. Breathe in and breathe out. On the next round of breaths, slow it down. Breathe in a little bit of time. Inhale, even deeper than last time. Extend the exhale a couple seconds longer as well. Keep breathing out. Keep pressing out the air. A little more. And return to your normal breath. So we repeat our mantra. So hum. So hum. So hum. You're welcome to remain in this posture for Shavasana. Or begin to release the arms to the mat. Extend the legs long. Whatever posture you choose to take your final rest. Breathe in one final time to so hum. And then exhale through open mouth, releasing the mantra, the practice, all thoughts, all questions, all answers. Be here in complete silence and peace. I'll let you know when it's time to reawaken. Begin to deepen your breath and wiggle with the body. Stretch the arms up overhead slowly, bringing the legs together. Taking a stretch on your exhale. Curl into yourself on one side, propping the head up against your arms. As you're ready, press yourself up to a comfortable seat, keeping the eyes closed or softly gazing downward. Bring the palms together at heart center. Lower the chin, lower the gaze. Breathe in together. Final deep inhale. And an exhale to release the practice. Release the hands. Lift the gaze. Thank you for sharing this time and practice with me. May you be well. Remember to always tune inward and find yourself enough